Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel, where today I'm going to talk about the misconceptions surrounding depression, and there are a lot of them. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below, let me know what you think about our content. If you're looking for one-to-ones and coaching calls with anyone on the team, please message Phil at OCDrecovery.com and start off with something very nice. Dear Phil, you are an idiot. Anyway, can I work with Nick? Please do that. He'll be like, Nick, stop telling people to call me idiots. But no, you got to joke around, got to have fun. By the way, if you're in places and forums where people aren't joking around and they're not having fun with the tone, it's going to make it very hard to recover because you take it very seriously. Anyway, so I had very bad depression. I did not want to live anymore. The police were at my house all the time. I do not have to cover this. Many people know my story. If you're new and finding this video, there's 3,500 videos in the channel of me talking about my story with chronic OCD. So let's first talk about where depression could be coming from something structural. So CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, people who have had concussions, head injuries, fighters, football, American football players, etc., rugby, etc. Potentially vaccine issues, for sure. Bar fights, which goes into the first point. Other sort of hormone issues. How many cases of depression does that account for? Less than 1%. It's just less than 1%. No matter what anyone says. It's not 5%. There's no way. Because that would mean that 5 out of every 100 people are playing a contact sport to where it's affecting them chemically and they're having depression. I believe it's less than 1%. Now, I have no evidence to back that up, but I have a very good data pool of working with thousands of people around the world with 70, 80, 90 different countries, and it all comes down to the same thing, and that is one thing and one thing only: conditional acceptance. Primarily conditional life acceptance, but certainly conditional self and other acceptance. Oh my, real event, false memory. Oh my God, I did X, Y, Z. I'm a terrible person. I don't deserve to be happy. Secondary problem, depression. Oh my God, I have OCD as a whole. My life is absolutely ruined. This equals me being depressed. Then you have second and tertiary problems with depression. Loss of connection, loss of joy, not enjoying things, trying to force the present moment, becoming hyper-fixated on the sensation of depression. Depression and lack of a sensation is a feeling. So you become secondary and tertiary afraid of experiencing that for the rest of your life. Primary problem, my life shouldn't have turned out this way, equals depression. Secondary problem, I can't stand feeling this way. Tertiary problem, if this never goes away, my life is ruined. So there was a hodgepodge in a stair-stepping manner of the way that people are feeling depression. This reality, and they've done huge data pool studies on people who are, and I'm not saying medications can save people's lives. This is not a medication thing. Always speak to your doctor about that. But a lot of people who take medications, it takes the edge off. Amazing. They still want to work on their belief systems. But there are millions of people who take antidepressants and they're still depressed. Why? Because that's not the genesis of their depression. The genesis of their depression is more than likely a strong, rigid belief system with biological, environmental origins or factors that happen in their life like severe traumatic events. So, and that's one of the main things that fuels depression. And this is covered so incorrectly on a daily basis. This is the average person, right? The average person goes in to see a provider. Okay, let's say they go in the nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, psychiatrist, medical doctor, whoever is prescribing the medications, a DO, doctor of osteopathic, which is very similar to an MD in America. They say, these are my symptoms. I have loss of interest and I don't find joy, etc. I know, let's give you a medication and you go on your way. That helps a lot of people. It really does. But guess what? It doesn't help more people than that. There's a larger pool of people it doesn't help. Or it helps a small degree. Or let's say it works for a little bit and then the effects wear off and you have to increase your medication dosage. And again, and then again. The problem is the belief system. Again, I have seen medications do excellent things for people and change their life, but I've seen so many people where the belief system, even with major concussions, even with potential CTE, even with being knocked the fuck out in a bar fight, and it's messed them up for a while, or their parents have passed away in front of them, or they've lost a child, etc. This is a very hard thing to hear. Losing a child does not automatically mean depression. A does not equal C. I lost my child, therefore I'm depressed. It's the worst thing ever. My father died in front of me, literally, basically. He died 6 hours after I saw him in hospice. And it's ridiculous what people do is, oh, well, there's a difference between losing your father versus losing a child. No, they're not. It's still a loved one that you love. It's no difference. This is just absolutely nonsense, you know? And I had I'm telling you right now, no one wants to say this. I would have been more okay if you told me right now in the depths of my suffering, lose my wife to cancer or get rid of OCD. I don't think I would have easily said, no, I don't want to lose my wife. Because unless you have chronic OCD, you will never understand what that suffering is like on a day-to-day basis. Now, that's a ridiculous thing to say, and I'm not proud to say that, but I'm going to say it because it's the reality. It's the reality of life. So if those belief systems are so strong, yes, the medications can take the edge off. Yes, you could see increase with that. And yes, you could have all the benefits of that. But still, people primarily stay depressed for the most part. The large pool of people with depression are stuck because of the fear of something in their life not turning out the way they want to, the fear of something happening in their life they believe they can't get over. Because think about me. I lost my father. He died. I was very close to my father towards the end of my life, and I was sad and probably went through some bouts of over sadness, but I got on with my life just fine. Where other people lose their parents and don't leave their house for 5 years. There is a difference in that. That difference is sure biological and genetic in the way we were raised, but primarily belief systems. If you rely on depression to be something outside of your control, you will never, more than likely, be able to get underneath that depression belief system because you look at that self in, this is outside of me. It's something not in my control and I can't handle it. That is more than likely beyond, it's just inaccurate. There's no way to say it. It's just not correct. Because I have seen people with the worst cases of depression I've ever seen help them with their own effort to change their belief systems and change their behaviors. And by the way, to kind of finish it off with the behaviors of depression, if your life structure is not where it's, let's say, healthily supposed to be, and that's up for terms, of course, because that's will look different for everyone. If you're on the couch all day and you're not working and you're smoking vape and you're smoking weed all day and you're taking benzodiazepines and you're, watching Pornhub all day, no shit, you're going to feel depressed. Okay. I lived that life. I lived that life for a long time. It almost destroyed my marriage and every other good relationship in my life. It did destroy potential very good relationships in my life before I met my wife, all because of my own downfall, my own belief systems, my own behaviors, and my own lack of change. And I did not want to live like that anymore, and I wanted to change my life. So look at your behaviors and look at your belief system. And even with something, like I say, if you have a major head injury, if you have a major problem in your life, or you lost your house, you went bankrupt, let's say you have the most severe biological and environmental components that will give you a super high chance of depression. I'll tell you this right now, your belief systems are more than likely still playing a part, and a large part. Thank you again, Phil, at OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. You do not need brain scans to tell if you're depressed. You don't need any fancy blood work to tell if you're depressed. All of that stuff is nonsense. What you need is your belief systems. You need to change your behaviors, and that is the most important thing. Thank you again, Phil, at OCDrecovery.com. And remember, make fun of Phil. Message him. Tell him you hate him. Tell him he's ugly. Tell him he has a terrible hairline. I think he has good hair. I don't know. And then we'll go from there. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.